Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Incomplete series, your incomplete guide to every show you've never watched. My name's Scott. I'm here with my friend Jez. How you going, Jez?
I'm well, Scott.
Unfortunately, Morgan can't be here this week.
No.
I'm under the impression that he's flown over to Vietnam and is looking for his estranged father. So in his place, we have who you may have heard in a previous podcast, producer Arran.
Hey guys, happy to be here.
It's lovely to have you.
Thanks for crossing over to the other side of the mic.
Yeah, made the step. Got to fill in for Morgs. He's off on a long journey.
We don't know if he's going to come back.
No.
Could be going to the moon. It's
Who knows?
really neither here nor there. So this week, obviously, we've had some time to recover from the ordeal that was watching Jag and talking about Jag for an extended period of time.
It's the reason why it's such a long time between episodes. Because we
Rehab.
we had to recover, yeah. It was tough. It was an ordeal.
I found myself just 10 minutes would go by
Yep.
and I just realized like, oh man, I'm thinking about Jag again.
Yep.
Like I'm
Yep.
just thinking about the internal
going back to it.
consistencies, the internal inconsistencies that just don't make any sense.
No amount of therapy can erase that from your memory. It
No.
just keeps coming back. It haunts your dreams.
So we have moved on to another show, as difficult as it was to do. And this week we're doing Alias.
Yeah, really changing gears, I think.
A lot of people would have watched Alias, I think, compared to Jag.
Yeah, I mean, that brings us to our previous experiences with Alias. Jez?
I remember it being on.
Yeah, it was always that kind of 10:30 time slot, like Tuesday night, just
I
never
was
quite there.
I was aware of its existence,
Yeah.
but again, well, we wouldn't be doing this episode
Exactly.
if I was a fan of the show. So
But one of us is.
Yeah. So we've got a bit of a change in dynamic, I guess. 'Cause
breaking the
I've-
formula.
I've actually seen all of Alias. It's been a little while, so my memory's a little hazy. But watching the first and last episodes certainly did help.
It all came coming back.
Well, glad it helped you.
Yeah.
Didn't help us, I don't think. Scott, you want to take us through episode 1? Just give us a bit of a recap.
Okay, so we're starting at season 1, episode 1 of a 5-season show.
So that in itself makes it a lot easier to
Yes.
talk about than Jag.
About half as many episodes.
A lot less gaps to fill.
Half as many
Well, you would think,
years.
but still a lot of questions. Anyway,
They
Scott,
covered a lot more ground than Jag, I'll give them that.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, far more expensive.
Episode 1. Any series from J.J. Abrams, you expect a lot to be going on in the first episode. And with a 66-minute runtime, I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah, monstrous.
The pilot for Alias is no exception. We're introduced to Sydney Bristow, an undercover operative for a branch of the CIA called SD6. How does one get approached by the CIA? Well,
It was during the fall of my freshman year. A man approached me. He told me that the U.S. government might be interested in talking to me about a job.
so it sounds plausible enough.
Yeah.
Apparently
I
it's
love
that
the
easy.
soundtrack. What are you talking about, Jess?
So we get a bit of backstory and are introduced to the other main
soft rock.
characters. Yeah, including the soft rock genre. But firstly, we've got her partner in the branch of the CIA, Marcus Dixon, who
Yes.
I think sounds remarkably like Barack Obama.
I keep telling myself he's just fine. You know, he's done this before, disappeared for days like this. What's going on with you? You've got like a glow.
Agree? Disagree?
Got like a glow.
Yeah, the glow really nailed it.
Really sells it.
Yeah, I could see.
I reckon if we're doing a recast later on of,
Well,
of Obama's life,
When this show wrapped up in 2006, it fits the timeline.
Could work.
I mean, I'm not saying that Marcus Dixon is Obama, but filling the gaps.
yeah.
We're also introduced to Marshall Flinkman, who I would describe, works within the CIA, I would describe best as like Q from James Bond,
Yep.
except he doesn't have any social skills. Let's just hear a bit of him in action.
The other thing I got here, this is, you're gonna like this. One of my, there's something that I'm really excited about. Looks like a lipstick, something that you do for your lips, in the woman's refresh or something. But it's got a camera and a short pulse laser plus a grid analyzer. And I got it to 42 snaps right now. But I want to get it to 47 because that's a prime number.
Oh, really selling it.
Really overselling it.
Oh,
They fit a lot of cliches into one small snippet of dialogue. The name in itself as well, Flinkman. If you professor types, they've always got to have like a Inkman.
So we've also got the man who's in charge of this branch of the CIA, whose name is Arvin Sloan, and he's the guy giving the orders.
You're flying to Taiwan on Monday. You're employed by Modera Plastics. Based on Quintero's notes, you'll case the building's east wing. Measurements, lock specs, IO, the whole nine. Locate the lab where the plans are being held and come home.
So it's really bogged down in the detail.
Yeah, a lot of spy jargon.
Yeah.
It's a steep learning curve.
They don't explain the jargon like in Jag.
No,
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, there's no exposition.
Need a Bud type character.
Yeah.
They need a Bud. They need a Bud to.
He's
just
going to
walk
watch his
through it.
six.
So everything's pretty much hunky-dory, except that Sydney's long-term boyfriend, Daniel, proposes to her, and she feels obliged to tell him what she's really doing for a living, because she can't tell him that she's working for this secret branch of the CIA.
What was her cover?
She was just a student,
She
wasn't
was just a student.
She
working
was a
at a
student, but she
credit
worked
bank.
at a bank,
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because that comes up. in
which
the
is
last-
called Credit Dauphine.
Yes,
That's
they have
right.
a
That's
very
right.
international clientele.
Yeah.
Very international.
Remember that from the last episode. So, student, part-time banker, but she is actually a student, or is that a cover? Is it just the part-time banker?
No, I think
cover?
she's actually a student.
She is actually a student.
It's just the bank bit
just the bank bit.
that's a front. So she, decides to tell her fiance Daniel about it, and then very kindly, Arvin Sloan has him killed.
Yeah,
but there's
he's
one
ruthless.
other character who complicates the matter, and that's Sydney's father, Jack, and he's introduced as a kind of distant figure. And I think he sells airplane parts or something to that description.
Someone's got to do it, man.
But is then revealed to be working with Arvin and agrees that Sydney's fiance needs to be killed. Sydney finds her fiance Daniel dead in their apartment, staged as a suicide, naturally, as the CIA you think would.
How was it again? How would he have killed himself?
I think it was like in the bathtub.
in the bathtub. Okay. With gunshot wounds.
That sort of thing, yeah.
That's how I want to go.
One in the chest, one in the head. Classic suicide.
Then Sydney goes and confronts Sloan and takes indefinite leave, which you'd think you would after your partner gets
dramatic.
Fair enough.
murdered by your boss. Something that happens.
Never happened to me.
And so, after a few months, they start to want her back in the biz. So her partner,
Naturally.
Dixon, comes to give her a soft warning, I think you could say.
They need you active. And if they don't have confidence in someone who's in as deep as you are, they'll fix that problem.
Not so subtle death threat. Now, you just said someone who's in as deep as you are. She's a student, right? And this is like a part-time job on the side. And she only just was entered into the fold. So how...
Oh, no. She's been working for I think, 7 years. I think it's...
She's been studying for 7 years as well?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Part-time.
guess.
Super part-time.
Wow, she's really...
She's really going
Really
for it.
stretching
What's
that
she
out.
studying? Is it medical school? Or
I
is that
think
just
it's
her partner who's
like-
a surgeon?
something like that. There's some crazy lectures that she's going to.
Yeah.
Psychology or something.
Yeah,
I remember they opened the first episode with an ultra generic
Oh, yeah. Whitehead
British
professor.
white.
It'd be
professor.
embarrassing
Yeah,
if
yeah.
she was just doing an arts degree or something.
Yeah, but 7
really-
years.
Just
can't get that last credit.
Cracking it out.
So after this point, the agency attempts to assassinate her, but then a surprise figure comes to rescue her.
Daddy?
That's right, he doesn't sell airplane parts. He actually works for the same company that she does, and they both work for this CIA operative called SD6. However, SD6 isn't all as it seems, and then Jack goes on to explain to her.
About a decade ago, a pool of agents went freelance. Russian, Libyan, Chinese,
The
Ethiopian.
Alliance of 12. They're an enemy of the United States. They're mercenaries. They're dangerous.
I'm one of them. SD6 is not a black ops division of the CIA. SD6 is a branch of the Alliance. You work for the very enemy you thought you were fighting.
Very complicated.
Very confusing. Straight
sort of
away.
double agents,
This is what, halfway
sort of
through the first
double crossing.
episode?
Yeah, pretty much. This is the
I
setup.
was already struggling to get my head around what SD6 was. And then they throw another Alliance of 12.
Yeah. It's just a branch of a branch.
Starts as like a corny bar joke as well, like an Irishman, an Ethiopian, and a Frenchman or
I want to
something.
hear that punchline.
Yeah.
So essentially, she's working for a company that she thought that she was working against, and they're not actually the CIA, but they're in direct. What is that? Competition to the CIA, but not
Not quite. They have a different agenda.
Yeah, in direct conflict to the CIA.
So she didn't even know who she was working for.
No. She then decides to finish this mission that she started earlier in the episode to acquire this artifact that Arvan Sloane was looking to get, which we'll get into a little bit.
The electronic horseshoe.
Yeah, the electronic horseshoe, which we'll get into a little bit more later. Goes to China or some such, picks it up, comes back and drops it on Arvan Sloane's desk.
I'm back.
Right.
I'm taking the week off.
She's very sassy like that.
Yeah.
So after that, in the final couple of scenes, Sydney marches into the actual CIA headquarters and offers to become a double agent.
It's a bold move.
It's a very bold move, just walking into the CIA.
So who's the bad
Well, she's not on board with...
Sloane? So she's
not on board with
she
Sloane.
already thinks Sloane's a bit of a shifty character.
And she's not on board with her dad.
No.
They're not on good terms.
Is her dad in the CIA?
Well, essentially at the CIA, she meets a guy named Michael Vaughn, and he's sort of saying like, oh, look, we'll take a couple of weeks to approve whether you can work for us as a double agent.
Can you just do that?
Yeah, apparently.
Can?
If you're Jennifer
Okay.
Garner, you can.
Just fill out a form
that's
and get you started next week.
So a little pamphlet, some literature
So
when you
you've
walk
decided
in.
to become a double
Yeah,
agent.
exactly.
And so they essentially give her like the "we'll call you." And in the final scene, she's standing at Daniel's grave. Her father comes up behind her and says like, the CIA accepted you. And then she's like, what? And it turns out that he's a double agent, and he's been a double agent the whole time for the CIA.
They're both double agents.
So they're both working for SD6.
But the
both in this.
But
both in the
SD6
CIA.
is part of the CIA?
No.
Okay.
And
They're
he's
in conflict.
also
They're like a
in-
terrorist cell.
I would like to say that I'm with you, but
He's also in the Alliance of 12.
Well, it's a
Oh,
no.
boys.
SD6 is a branch of the Alliance of 12.
Right.
okay.
Die-hard Alias fans are gonna be like, "You've got that totally wrong. That's not how the makeup works at all. What's
Feel
going
free
on?"
to write in if you're a
Yeah,
diehard Alias
yeah.
fan. You know,
Please.
we're willing to take your fan/hate mail.
I do want to mention that assassination attempt. Probably the least subtle thing I've ever seen.
To kill her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
just walking back to her car.
Parking
They
lot,
roll
yeah.
up next to her, just pull out a semi-automatic machine gun. Not very subtle, and then just start spraying randomly.
Yeah, but
You think they're highly trained agents. Probably could have just hit it in the back of her car or something. Yeah,
but
no.
the car park botch.
Assassination.
Yeah, it's a favorite.
Yeah, it comes up a lot in these sorts of
Yeah.
TV shows, films.
It's kind of the go-to.
You'd think they'd know, because I'm sure that they're living in a universe where spy shows and movies exist, and they would have seen like a James Bond where they tried to do the car park hit and it went botched. Because there's so many getaway vehicles right there. Terrible place to do it.
Doesn't make any sense, really. I mean,
But,
but they are a terrorist cell. Maybe they're like more up to wacky hijinks than they are organized to try and
Okay, yeah.
into that sort of thing. Did you have any sort of immediate bones to pick? I feel like that's the thing we go
there's
through
a lot of
first.
bones,
to pick
always.
for the first episode. Things, inconsistencies,
so-
things you didn't like.
They really don't beat around the bush when it came to killing her fiance.
No.
If they valued her that highly, you'd think that they'd
Like,
want to keep her happy.
This is going to keep her in line. We'll destroy everything
Yeah.
that she loves.
Yeah, and they
all
always
she's got.
They always get annoyed when she's like not all in after they do that. Like, well, come on, you've got no time.
And you're taking a week off? Jesus.
God, we killed your fiance
What
for
more do
you.
you want from us?
What more do you want? Jesus.
I want to talk about Sid's relationship with her boyfriend. I loved when he asked Jack, Sid's father, for permission.
God.
that's right.
Yeah,
you don't need to. He just
Yeah, he
dressed
did not
him
want to
down.
be a part of their happy anecdote.
No.
No. And then the conversation leading up to the proposal, talking about how I think Daniel bought them tickets to see the Dave Matthews Band. Oh,
Not a dated reference.
not at all.
I did overly like when he got down on one knee and proposed in what could be the most. I'm not even sure how to describe
Those sound effects tell us enough.
it. Yeah. Well, let's just hear it.
Build me up, buttercup, baby, then you bring me down. And mess me around, and then worst of all, you never call, baby, when you say you will. But I love you still, I need you more than anyone, darling. I know
Beautiful voice.
Yeah, haunting.
So it's certainly one way to make a proposal.
I really hope someone sang that just like that at his funeral.
There was a song going in, like, because through this first episode, I like rewatching. I did notice that there was about 7 or 8, just like pop, like kind of pop rocky, soft alt
Yeah.
rock. I've described like 9 genres there. Songs just going in the
Matthews
background.
Band.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Peter Gabriel, the Cranberries,
Yes. What was the one when she was
at the end.
the sassy
Yeah.
When she was
she
was
said,
laying down the sass and like, here's your bloody horseshoe.
Yeah, I'm
jerk.
taking the week off.
Taking a week.
You're going to play us out on this, aren't you?
It was called Give You Back Vertical Horizon. We might hear a little bit of that later. One of those bands that you just will never have heard any
What
other
were they
song by. Vertical Horizon.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Oh, very 90s name.
Well, very.
Yeah.
Speaking of very 90s, the intro.
Yeah.
Very
It's
90s.
a shame because this aired first in 2001.
Yeah, just after their time.
Not the most progressive graphics. I feel like the opening credits was made by the same director or creative studio that made the You Wouldn't Steal a Car ad.
Yeah.
Like the way that the typography is.
Definitely.
Yep.
All right. Has that pretty much got us covered past the first episode? Have we gotten through most,
One other
most
thing.
details?
Just wanted to mention the appearance of Bradley Cooper,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We can't.
who doesn't make it through to the very end, but
Does not.
Hope we have some
Unsurprisingly.
theories of his involvement for the other 103 episodes.
So what was he?
Human, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, he was a human.
No, he was a friend of Jennifer Garner.
There was some
Yeah,
obvious
like a school friend.
obvious
There's-
sexual tension there.
Yeah, there's a scene where they like go for a jog and his shirt comes
And
straight
just
off.
pops it right off.
I mean, he's Bradley Cooper, so
Yeah, well, it's his move.
you can't blame him. But a lot of sexual tension.
Yeah, so and the door was open once the fiance was out of the picture.
If-
Maybe he had a part to play.
I reckon he killed him.
Yeah.
Do we?
It was nothing to do with SD6. They were like, "What are you talking about? Well, we didn't do that. We want to make you happy."
Yeah, exactly. It was just Bradley Cooper trying to get in on that.
I reckon.
Did we see who was holding the gun when he was shot?
No.
Was he shot? I don't know. We went. through
I
this
don't-
before.
yeah.
Anyway, Bradley Cooper didn't make it, probably because he outgrew the show. Is my guess.
Started doing feature films,
Yep.
romantic comedies.
Yeah. This is very early on in Bradley Cooper.
I don't think he would have done a whole lot else
no.
by that time. Wet Hot American Summer.
It's definitely where they got it from. They're
Yeah.
like, look at this guy's potential.
Okay.
Let's
He
put him
can
in
play a
this
human.
international spider.
And he did just that.
Yeah.
One thing I might say about Bradley Cooper as well, before we move off the first episode, is that one of the most notable draw cards of Alias is the flaming red hair,
Oh yes, of course.
which I don't know how often that popped up. I think it's just sort of showing that she's a master of disguise.
Yeah, it's
Nothing
like-
shows that better than
The idea comes, she just steals Bradley Cooper's crazy sadomasochist sister's look,
and
passport and
yeah.
look at her husband's funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, or fiance's funeral, I should say.
Yeah, so I think the first shot of the show where we see Sydney Bristow is in that she's like got dyed red hair and she's being like beaten up by these two guys in Hong Kong. And so that's like the intro that you get, and then it goes back to like, oh, it's normal Sydney Bristow.
Yeah, not badass flaming red hair. But Bradley Cooper's sister couldn't think of anything better to wear to a funeral than like leather straps and
yeah, it's a style.
flaming red hair.
She doesn't change for anyone.
It's inappropriate.
Fair enough.
She was just begging for her identity to be stolen.
Yeah.
really.
So easy. Like, you don't even have to look anything like her. I could just put on a flaming red wig and go up to they show a scene where just after she assumes the identity, checks in at the airport. I could put on a flaming red wig and use that passport. They wouldn't bat an eyelid.
She really gets into the personality as
Yeah,
well. Gets
yeah.
the gum going.
Gum, the
this
sass.
sassy compliment. Yeah, she's into it.
She's really taking the character and rolling with it, making it her own. I like it.
Acting within acting. It's a performance within a performance. Jennifer Garner, ladies and gentlemen. Do we want to move to the final episode?
Yeah, let's just shuffle along. 300 episodes. 300 and... No, not that many.
Yeah, geez. In 5 years. 60 episode seasons?
I was unaware that we were doing Good Morning Australia.
Yeah. Next time. Next week. Let's just shuffle along about 103 episodes down the line.
That sounds more accurate. Yep.
Yeah, more reasonable.
103, 5
yeah.
seasons. So they varied the... Pick a number and stick with it, Alias. I mean, come on. What are you doing? Like 21
That's where they went
episode
wrong.
seasons, 19 episode seasons?
So, which makes this two-parter, episode 104, 105. Mm-hmm. So we rejoin our good friends Sydney and that bunch as they embark on a mission to take down the most powerful organization in the world, Profit 5. And they've got some
Okay.
sort of
All
plan
right.
for world domination,
So-
seems like.
So, again, the way they open with this threw me straight away because I was struggling to get my head around SD6, as you're already aware. And then Profit 5 shows up, and then there's another 12. There's like the
Yeah,
something
yeah.
12. I'll let you
Too many
finish,
numbers.
but I just wanted to say that
Yeah.
so many sub-organizations. we're really seeing the full corporate structure of the CIA.
I'm about to throw another one at you.
Yep.
So the whole gang's still together. And the organization they're known as is APO, Authorized Personnel Only. So that's what Sydney, Jack, Marcus, all the gang. And we've still got Vaughn, who was the CIA agent that Sid went to at the end of the first episode. He's still kicking around. Mm-hmm. So a few major things have happened in their life, it appears. Sydney's had a baby, and she seems to have patched things up with Jack.
Is Vaughn is that her partner now?
No, not at this point.
Which one's Vaughn?
Yeah, is he? Oh, really?
So she's had a baby with him? Or was it Bradley Cooper's baby?
I'll let you speculate.
Well,
Okay.
that's what I was going to say. I thought it was Bradley Cooper's baby.
Yeah, so he must have died at some
They
point?
weren't very... It seemed like there was a lot of tension at the start of the episode, and then they got together at the end. That's what I thought.
Maybe family life's not that, that rosy when you're a couple of
there's a lot going on.
high-flying spies.
Yeah. So we start the episode with the APO just getting some surveillance on Prophet 5.
Yeah, taking photos of dudes.
Yeah, which I thought was a bit unnecessary. They have so few agents, and they send them all around the world just to take a photo of someone. Then they all come back and are like, all right, now we know what we're after.
One thing that really annoyed me about the montage of taking photos of dudes all around the world was Marcus. He was in France, I think. His disguise was he was in a cab.
Oh,
and his whole operation, like he would have, imagine the amount of money that would have been spent on sending him to France, getting him the disguise, hiring the cab. It was almost like just ruined because some guy tried to get in his cab.
Yeah.
Because he's in a cab. Like just hire like a black car.
The cab was
have to be
really
a cab? It
unnecessary.
makes no sense.
So while this is going on, we see our good friend Arvan Sloan and a couple of his cohorts, Julian Sark and Callie Payton. They got a bit of a plan to get into Prophet 5 because he's got his agenda. He wants a slice of that world domination.
So Prophet 5, we knew about Prophet 5 from the first episode?
No.
Okay. What was that? SD6.
SD6.
Okay, all right. Yep.
So they're like they're the terrorist cell that's in opposition to the CIA.
Okay.
Or splintered off the CIA and want to do things their own way.
Prophet 5 is like Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
Sloan, in his grand plan, he knows he's got to get some info from the APO.
Yep.
So he kidnaps a couple of their agents, Rachel and Marshall. Does a little bit of torture.
Rachel, a new character, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. Rachel was... what's her role?
Love interest of some other guy who's a new character as well.
What she was hired as, I think.
She's like... it seems like she's Marshall's tech underling.
Yeah.
Almost an apprentice.
Yeah. So they've got some information that Sloan needs, but he can't quite get it out of him. So he has to go to confront Sydney, and they have a bit of cryptic clue, bit of spy work.
Now, I had some thoughts about this. Do we have a clip of this at all? No, probably not. So what happens is it's not that momentous a scene in the last two episodes, but Marshall's being interrogated, refuses to do anything. He's like, I want my son to know that I didn't give you the information you wanted. I want him to be proud of me because he thinks his son's going to die. And then evil Steve Jobs, Arvan Sloan, just turns up in a car park again. Love car park confrontations. And Jennifer Garner's there, getting in the car with what I assume... Oh, is that her baby?
That's her baby.
That's her baby.
Oh, okay, that's why I was confused because I thought it was Marshall's baby. I thought it was going to be like, give me the kid. I'm going to... Anyway, she calls Marshall... while she's holding her child, not his child. Makes sense. And he's like, is there, just do what they want. And then he's like, oh, you gotta tell my son that, I did the right thing. And then tell my wife that I really want to finish reading this book, which was the coded message.
Yeah.
But I don't think that he thought that it was a coded message.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, I think he's just like, he's just talking about his book. He's
stumbled his way into
tell her that
freedom.
I promise I'll finish that book. He doesn't seem quick-witted enough to come up with that on the fly.
Yeah, true. So while all this is going on, I think Sark had planted a bomb in the subway under the APO office. And so a couple of the APO agents have to go down, try to clear things up, get the civilians out. And then one of our new character for this episode, Tom, is left to defuse the bomb.
Yes.
And while everyone else flees to safety, he sacrifices himself.
The way that he doesn't... I don't really know what he does when he finds a bomb. He's like,
he just kind of like sits down next to it. It's like, oh, I'm done.
He's like,
that's me.
It looks like I can't defuse this, guys, but I've got this liquid nitrogen pen.
Yeah, I can.
And I can spray it with it, and it'll buy us like a second.
Yeah, it seems like he could have gotten out. He had a fair bit of time. He had enough time to call Rachel and just be like, "Oh, sorry, should have asked you out on that date. I blew it." It's like I would have said yes
because Marcus got away.
Yeah, Marcus got
and
away.
He didn't actually stall the bomb detonating much. It was like half a second, right?
Yeah, it wasn't much. He just basically got down there, had a look, died.
Mustn't have liked his life.
Had a death wish.
It's like, this is an easy out. Just stupid. Come on, have a crack.
Just
at least have a crack at trying to defuse it.
Sloan sends his other assistant Peyton to a meeting with the 12 of Prophet 5 because he's going to deliver them the amulet, or so he says. Peyton gets this meeting.
Pretty lax.
Oh, yeah.
Security.
She just walks in. They're expecting Sloan. There's one security guard.
Seems like that none of them ever met her before.
And she's like, who are you? It was like, Sloan sent me. Oh, head on in. That's fine. No one check what's in your briefcase. And they're like, where's the amulet? Opens it up, just a couple of Uzis. Just kills them all.
Yep.
The most powerful organization in the world. Just gone.
You can't even get into a nightclub like that.
Oh,
like
God,
if you were
no.
just like, someone sent me. Like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You want to check this suitcase? No, just go
fine.
in. It's
It's
fine.
fine.
Not just a regular suitcase either. One of those like metal ones.
Yeah.
Brushed aluminium. Like nothing innocuous is ever held in those.
No.
No.
Always check those. That's like security guard training 101, surely.
He's a real goon.
So now Sloan basically, he's taken over the power of Prophet 5. So he's the man in charge now. He's got the amulet now, or he's got a...
So we should probably
Get the amulet?
introduce the amulet, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's this amulet, something that you don't really come across day to day. Amulets only ever seem to be some sort of artifact, some mystical artifact.
yeah.
You don't just have a regular old amulet. And he wants it so that he can do something.
So he goes to Mount Subasio, which is in the...
Central Italy.
With the,
If you Google Maps it like I did. And if you Google image it, you'll see that it looks like a lot of green rolling hills and some...
Not on Alias, though.
In medieval castles.
Some sort of
In the
ice tomb.
In Alias, it's the Himalayas.
From the information they gathered, they find that Sloane's headed there to part of his master plan.
There's something there.
Yeah, so Vaughn and Sid follow him, hot on his heels.
Yeah.
And she finds him in that ice cave, holding the amulet nicely up to the sun.
Sun comes through some
through the ice cave.
Crack in the ice from above, and then it reflects onto the wall, and nothing really happens.
And then
he shoots at her feet.
He shoots the ground out from under
can't
her,
be here to
falls
see
down
this.
the crevasse. And
just 2 shots to either side of her feet. And that's it.
Yeah, he rigged that up. So that's the end of the first part.
Yeah, let's smash through part 2.
Yep,
Very confusing.
fair enough.
Very confused. Sid's strapped down on the ice. A few flashbacks going on, as we love for a finale. Back in her childhood, getting a bit of background about how she became a spy. Meanwhile, Sloane goes to Mongolia, and he's visiting the tomb of Rambaldi. Don't know a lot about Rambaldi at this point.
No.
I don't think. The whole point of this for Sloane is to get eternal life, basically.
Why not?
That's his end game. And also destroy the world. I don't know. Maybe. It's got some sort of
pretty
blood
lonely eternal life if you destroy the world.
Well, yeah.
Just wandering around with your dead daughter in your head.
Yeah. Oh, God, I've got to explain that later.
Yeah, so while he's in this tomb, a few of the APO agents get to him and they have a bit of a standoff.
So there's a confrontation, as you said, with the APO agents in the tomb. Some sort of tomb. I don't know what it is. Some sacrificial ceremony area. Where Sloane gets caught in the act of trying to achieve immortality, and
Naturally.
and they all pointing guns at each other, and then he just flat out shoots him. Like I really admire that, because usually in these sorts of shows you'd feel like you'd take a prisoner,
a lot of
and
posturing.
there'd be a whole lot of just beating around the bush.
Just
But
shoots
bang,
Jack.
straight in the chest. Jack goes down. They drag him up the top. Him and Sydney have like a heartfelt moment where like she's trying to stop the bleeding and keep him alive. And then Marcus calls for a chopper. And he's like, there's not enough time. You know, the chopper's half an hour away. You've got to go. And she's like, no, but I can't leave you. And then she does leave him. And then for some reason, like he's been shot twice in the chest. He's lying down. She's applying pressure to the wound and stuff. Then she leaves. He's doing it himself. But he stands up for some reason.
Gets up.
Yeah.
He stands up and then falls down immediately. It makes no sense. And I think we're meant to assume that he's dead.
Yeah.
And then he goes back into the tomb
Yeah,
with the C4 and confronts
Sloane.
Arvin. Yep, Sloane.
Yeah.
It's like, you'll never get away with this.
Yeah.
Blows himself up and traps him in the tomb for
Yeah.
all eternity.
one of the key points in Sid and Jack's last conversation was Jack said that Sid is the only one who can stop her mother. So that's Sid's mission now. Her mum's in charge, I guess, was
all along. I don't know.
Faked commanding Sloane.
I feel like the show should have given us a bit of time to digest this bombshell that her mum was not only alive, but
it should
the
have known
ringleader
that
in
we're
some
only going to be
giant
watching
evil,
this episode.
Yeah.
giant evil
Not drop
organization.
something like that.
I don't know.
So they, she gets to her mum. They have a bit of a fight on the roof over an artifact that her mum's going to use to end civilization.
Yep.
As you do. And Sloane ends up pushing her mum through a glass ceiling and killing her.
Mm-hmm.
Sydney, not Sloane.
Sloane, yes. Sydney. Always get those two confused.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us. The artifact that the mum has, I don't know how it got to her. Oh, Sark took it to her. Same artifact that can give you eternal life. Can apparently end the world. They don't really explain why.
I don't know what everyone's agenda is. So with the death of Sid's mum, I guess that's all's well that ends well. That's
pretty much. You get
everyone's sorted.
Obligatory scene at the end where she's
and
pumped out another couple of kids and
Yeah.
just living by the beach.
Yeah.
Some perfect life.
Bit of foreshadowing to her daughter joining.
Yeah, solves
the
the
CIA.
impossible puzzle.
Yeah,
It doesn't
just
look that
stacking
hard.
blocks.
I'll be
stacking
honest with you.
blocks.
I reckon I could crack it.
And
And Jack is like, wow, that's so impressive that you managed to solve this puzzle. It's like I should explain to the listeners.
Yeah.
It's some sort of test that they must use when they're grooming agents early on.
Yeah.
You know, just like a standard jigsaw puzzle, but it's sort of stacking the blocks into some weird tower. And she stumbles across it and just does it, and he's really impressed.
When she's like 8 years old.
I love how smug she is about it as well.
Yeah.
He's like, not even I can do that. And she's like, really? You can't do this?
Well, fair
your
enough.
problem?
You know,
Yeah.
I would probably think
I'm
the same
12.
thing because watching it didn't look that hard.
True. Maybe
Right.
he's just a terrible agent.
Yeah, maybe he's just like his spatial skills are just not that well developed. He's just never really played with puzzles as a child. I don't know.
So we've gotten past episode 1 and
Yep.
episode
104 and 105.
104 and 105. So what do we think happened in between? I, of course, know what's happened.
Okay.
And, well, I know some parts of what's happened in between, what I can actually remember.
You haven't brought yourself up to speed again.
I've briefly looked over some of the key plot points
Okay.
that have been brought up, but I'd love to hear what you guys think as far as where things have come from, maybe things that came out of nowhere in the last episode.
It was a pretty straight storyline. Like, they've followed on pretty well from the end of episode 1 to the finale.
It's not too jarring, no.
Yeah.
It's just the
'Cause
fact
it's still
that
the main bad guy is still, he's the one, like, the foreshadowing doom at the end of the first episode, and he's the one in the last episode.
there's a few steps, I think, between being like a crooked CIA
Yeah.
boss
Yeah.
to like wanting to end the world and gain eternal life.
Yeah.
Like somehow it went from just like a sassy spy show to Tomb Raider. So yeah, it just that was I struggled to put that into a narrative. I don't know how that first happens. Someone's like, hey, so I was just taking the trash out and I found this crazy like alien artifact.
There's just
that,
blood everywhere, and
Yeah.
there's this orb floating. What's that about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just between like catching bad guys. So
I
don't
really
know,
must have just sprung it on you. No, I'm as lost as you are, really. I mean, I do like some of the individual sort of progressions. Obviously, we spoke about Bradley Cooper.
Yep. He's gone.
Yeah. I reckon I really like the theory that he killed Daniel.
But given how many people it turns out are in on the whole CIA thing,
Could have been undercover.
could have been undercover the whole time. It wouldn't have blown my mind that much if he just like end of season 1 maybe he was like, but I'm also in the CIA. But I'm actually in SD6 or whatever the bad one is. And then
He doesn't even
and then
know.
he's like, and I killed your fiance, and then she kills him maybe.
Probably a big question is, who is Ramboldi?
I think he's a. I did a little bit of further reading. I don't know how much this is allowed or whether or not it's
You're going
encouraged.
to get penalised.
Yeah.
Penalised? Okay, that's
Maybe.
fair.
Let's keep the
I'll
score.
wear that. But he's like a fictional Renaissance inventor
Fictional and he's
within
just
the,
within
within the
that
show.
Alias
Yeah.
universe,
Who I think these artifacts, like the amulet and the little orb filled with blood, he must have created.
Yeah, I was
imbued
thinking
with,
he was kind of like a Sauron figure, where he just created an amulet, which was just his all like the ring, but just an
Okay.
all powerful amulet that if you like
So you're
drank
thinking
from it, he'd Yeah.
Lord of the Rings spin-off.
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I will confirm / deny some tiny little things just because
Was that
I
right?
also feel like he's not fictional. He's a real guy.
Oh, was he?
He's like a Leonardo da Vinci type.
Okay.
And he found the secret to eternal life. Shouldn't
Was
more
that
people
real
know
or
about
was
this?
that
Or?
fictional? Did he really find the secret to eternal life?
Well, I mean,
Well, he's not around anymore, so probably not.
Well, because he's trapped in his tomb, he's probably just
He could be trapped
trying to get out.
in a tomb as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess
that could totally be true.
because that's true. Like, say that you discover the secret to eternal life, and then you like roll your car driving down some back alley,
Yeah.
or not like just some country road in the middle of the night.
Yeah, just pinned
And
it.
rolls down a dish. You just pin in that car for all
Yeah.
eternity. So,
Really bored.
while you might be immortal, you just get trapped somewhere, and you're like, well, this is it.
Well, that's Stallone's life now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Could maybe one
the
of
predicament.
a good spin-off could be like Buried with Ryan Reynolds with Stallone, like just trapped in Rambaldi's
That's
tomb.
a long sequel.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
you know, what's the end point?
Where do you
I
where do you
don't
just
know.
end?
go forever.
What was Stallone's
Yeah.
endpoint anyway? Big transition, I thought, was Marcus Dixon, Stallone's CIA partner.
Yep.
He got cornrows
He did get cornrows.
and a Hawaiian shirt.
Because he was bald in the
Yeah, like shaved down pretty
and
close.
wore like a suit. Lot more.
So I
straight and
reckon
narrow.
at some point there was a bit of a story arc where he just like moved to the Caribbean and just started like a little like PI firm, just to solve mysteries.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I picked up on watching it again was that there is a nice little sort of tie-in from the first and the last episode, like how we sort of had with Jag. 16-year-olds running around doing crazy things in the first episode and in the last episode. If you
yeah. I know where you're going
recall
with
with
this.
Harm, doing that. But there was a consistency with how Sydney deals with, like, I guess her general covertness, which is in the first episode, she's sort of sneaking and trying to grab this
Electric
horseshoe. And then essentially the electric horseshoe.
You'll have to look it up, guys. There's no better way to
Yeah.
describe it.
I'm sure if you Google electric horseshoe, it'll come up.
Yeah.
She's like sort of sneaking on her way out and gets caught by someone and then uses this as an excuse.
I'm so lost. Oh my God, I was looking for the bathroom. You know, there really should be signs. I mean, in English. I don't know if you're in charge of that, but
And then we skip forward to the final episode
Yep.
and she uses this.
Sydney in Sydney. Yeah.
using this as a cover.
Excuse me. What do you think you're doing?
Oh, hey, I'm covering for Debbie. She said she cleared it with you. Did she not clear it with you?
No.
Okay, well, she said she did. She had some kind of family emergency. Her sister was, like, sick, the gross kind or something.
The gross kind?
The gross kind. So she's
Classic
clearly
family.
just reusing this character. Just
Ditzy
like,
American.
Ditzy American girl, doesn't quite know what she's doing.
You know what my theory with that little snippet was? So the jig's up when they discover the woman that she knocked out to steal a uniform in the freezer or something. And they're like, get her! And but I think the way she blows her cover is she says she needs the tips. So I really need the tips. Sydney, you're in Sydney.
Yeah.
Australians don't tip.
It's a good point.
We pay you a good wage for a
And
reason.
that's when they're like, get her! Because
Yeah.
there's
I
no
don't
way this-
I don't think they say get her. I think somebody says,
Mate, we've got a situation down here.
just go super Australian with
Mate.
it. So, might as well, like, I'm here. I've seen all of Alias. I might as well spoil a couple of little things for you. And I guess if you don't want to know anything that's in between, we don't really give spoiler warnings on this show.
You've had 10 years. Come on.
Yeah, surely if you've come this far, you're willing to go a little further.
And like, it's a very specific spoiler warning because like, if you're listening already, then you don't care about the last episode. You just care about the meat of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Man, I really wanted to watch the other 103 episodes of Alias. But
not the
Yeah.
first one and the last
Don't
one.
have time for that.
No. So I guess I can kind of give you a couple of little gems and some of the things that I sort of particularly enjoyed because I thought it was actually quite a good show.
Okay.
All in all.
Yep.
It's kind of a little bit hammy here and there, but
higher,
for the most part.
higher rating on IMDb than Jag had by I think one whole point.
one whole point. That's a lot on IMDb.
It is.
It's quite a large
It's nothing
margin.
to scoff at.
So I think the biggest through line for the whole show is Rambaldi.
Yep.
Who's this? Yeah, Leonardo da Vinci type character. He essentially has left a legacy of all these different artifacts and like workings out and the like how you sort of see like Leonardo da Vinci had that like plane,
just like
technical
technical drawings and like
things that should be able to fly. And
Yep.
and you don't really know what it's all working towards, but just that Arvan Sloane is absolutely obsessed with acquiring all of these artifacts. The electric horseshoe at the start is a Rambaldi artifact.
Really? That thing looked futuristic almost.
Well, that's like that sort of mystical element.
Did they get one of his drawings and then they made it?
Yeah. So, but yeah, basically, like he designed all these things and then hid all these clues. Like that's why they're going to the Mount
Sabasio.
The Mount Sabasio, because that's what like Rambaldi designed. Like you got to stand in the light of the thing and hold up the amulet, and it'll project onto the ice wall where you need to go from there, and then they find the cave.
It's like the Rambaldi code. And the Da Vinci
Code.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So does that explain the hovering ball of liquid in the last episode that's hovering above the little like glass?
Yeah, it's all a part of some process that makes this kind of elixir,
blood?
I guess. And I don't think it's blood, but it's kind of like, it sort of represents that kind of eternal life.
Yeah.
Because
sort of
Arvan gets shot by Sydney and he falls backwards into this elixir.
Yeah.
And then when Sydney's mum is talking to her about some of the junk, they cut to him back in the temple and he stands up. So that's
what
did the trick.
Yeah, because the elixir just healed his wounds.
Healed his wounds, yeah. Made him immortal. But then, gets trapped under a rock and has to live out
that's immortality
the rest
for
of
you.
his life. Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you're not accident prone.
It's a real kick in the dick.
Yeah.
It really is. We're getting quite philosophical here. Is immortality worth it? Who knows?
Yeah.
So does that kind of reveal a little bit for you about sort of the nature of... That's like the main through line. The main thing that goes through is Rambaldi and Arvan Sloane sort of being that, like, how evil is he? Like, is he on our side? Is he on somebody else's side? Kind of like a Benjamin Linus from Lost kind of thing. There's a lot of comparisons to Lost.
What's Bradley Cooper doing?
Oh,
it's a real question.
How long? Can you tell us how long he lasts?
I think maybe 3 or 4 seasons.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's not a huge role. There is a point where he has a role in the show.
Do he and Sid ever get together at all?
I don't think so. I don't think that happens.
I'm not watching it now.
So very firmly in the won't they?
No, it's pretty much just the Sydney and Sydney Bristow and Michael Vaughan show. As far as love's concerned, and those 2 characters at the end.
Great alternate title.
Never made it. Yeah. Okay, let's jump into, I think, what's my favorite part of this podcast so far, which is the reboot, where we essentially reboot the show that we've watched this week. It's Alias, and turn it into something that maybe we'd like to see.
Yep.
Maybe something we wouldn't like to see, but reckon would sell well, or something that would just be hilarious.
So for those of you who are new to the show as well, this is a fantasy reboot in a sense, in that we can pick any actor from any generation in whatever stage of their career we want.
Yep. So do you want to lead us off, Scott?
Yeah, okay. So I've picked a genre that I think maybe this kind of story could lend itself to.
Sure.
It could slightly alter the way in which things are revealed, but I was thinking awkward high school comedy.
Okay.
Ooh.
So all of the younger characters that are like Sydney Bristow, Michael Vaughan, Marshall Flinkman, all those guys are kids.
Yep.
And
like
the older
early
characters.
teens?
Yeah, sort of like
Flinkman's going to get beat up a lot.
14,
He's not going to have a good time.
14, 15, something like that. And then all the older characters who are like Sydney Bristow's mother, Jack Bristow, her father, Arvan Sloane, those kind of characters. They're more like your parents and teachers in that sort of situation. Maybe Arvan Sloane's sort of like the principal
kind
of thing.
So no spy aspect to it at all? What does she do?
They get into some mysteries.
It's a bit of like a awkward maybe not awkward high school comedy, awkward high school comedy mystery. I think it's still like the core thing that they're trying to do is like
solving mysteries. Just
solving mysteries in the school.
Maybe smaller scale mysteries. Maybe not like
not eternal life, but just an extra 100 years.
World-shattering events.
Eternal lunch money or something like that.
Okay.
So first up, I thought I'd go pretty straightforward. Sydney Bristow, let's just straight up chuck in Emma Stone. She's on fire.
Yep.
She's been in a lot of high school comedy kind of things. We know she can do the job.
Yep.
Get it done.
Be awkward.
Like a slightly younger Emma Stone. Yeah. Around like the super bad.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. We're getting her in that point in her career. Maybe even a little bit before, if we can. If I'm
Okay.
being really picky. If I'm really,
You can be.
really, really
You can be as picky
I
as you
think
want.
you can.
Also, in the Superbad vein, I thought Michael Vaughn, might as well chuck him in. His name's Michael as well. Michael
Oh,
Cera,
no.
Mr. Michael Cera.
Okay. He's a
gonna be
love
painful.
interest.
Bit of a love interest, yeah. Now, for the older characters, I thought Jack Bristow kind of need that sort of guy who's got a little bit of a sense of humor, but can also kind of sort of deliver it straight.
Yeah.
So I thought Matthew Perry.
Okay. Matthew
I
Perry.
think he's got the range. I think he could do it.
Bring him back,
What
yeah.
year? Friends? Current? Whole
want him-
9 yards?
No, I think like more like your current Matthew
Okay.
Perry.
He's-
Yeah.
Looks like he's, I don't know, what's he up to these
I think he's
days?
gone grey. I think he's
Yeah.
greyed.
That's good. That helps.
That'll definitely give him some kind of authority.
Yeah.
And Arvin Sloane.
Yep.
This was a tricky one because he's such a specific character.
Yeah, very integral to the Steve Jobs.
Yeah. Just people.
iPhone
Just-
3 Steve Jobs.
Yeah. They both love black skivvies.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd just throw him straight in the deep end, Chevy Chase.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Wow.
Because he's got to hit that comedic angle.
Yeah.
He's got to have some sort of like to stick to the Arvin Sloane kind of character. He's got to have some sort of end goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have a Marshall Flinkman. I was trying to think of like who's the. Maybe I should have thrown Michael Cera in as
Michael Cera,
Flinkman.
I would say is a better Flinkman than he is a
you
Vaughn.
going
Michael
for
Vaughn.
Vaughn?
Maybe I should have chucked in.
Paul Dano?
Maybe. Oh God. Maybe let's swap out Michael Cera to play Flinkman, and
Yeah.
then maybe we get Zac Efron in as Michael.
Yeah,
Vaughn.
yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Another good one that often comes up in these sorts of movies is Dave Franco.
Oh yeah, Dave Franco.
Yeah. I could see him being a Michael Vaughn.
You could do it. You could definitely do it.
He's got it in him.
Alright.
So anyway,
Oh,
that's
I'd watch
my
that.
reboot. Awkward high school
So
comedy.
it's just a one-off
mind it.
movie.
Yeah, I think one-off feature film. Just
Yeah.
kind of get from A to B. Sort
Yeah.
of start with kind of wacky hijinks
That
and
could be
end
okay.
with I don't know, somebody living out their life immortally trapped under a set of lockers or something.
Yeah.
Locked inside of a locker.
Sloane
he's been
just trying to
pushed
get out.
inside. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man.
nice.
That's good.
Alright, I'm on board.
As
All right.
You're up.
I went a fairly similar vein to Alias itself. Went for a bit of a kind of noir conspiracy sort of thing. So I've gone.
What period? When are we setting it? Do you think?
Well,
Like, are we talking like? I just want to know. Like, are we 50s? Or
yeah, I was thinking 50s. I want a lot of
yeah?
trench coats.
Is,
Sort of
is Clark
smoking in offices.
is Clark Gable going to make an appearance or like?
No, I'm not going 50s actors.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
Greta Garbo. All right.
No. Maybe. So first off, I've got Sydney. For her, I went with Juliana Margulies.
Okay.
That's how you say that?
yeah.
Main character in The Good Wife.
Okay.
Played the lawyer in Scrubs. Very ball buster.
Yes.
Be cracking some skulls.
Definitely,
Not taking
definitely.
anyone's shit.
Just got a bit of attitude.
Yeah. The one I was most happy with, which he very much fits the 1950s style, is Jack Bristow, played by John Slattery. Madman, grey hair. Come on, guys.
I think I
You're
think
killing
I
me.
know. Give us.
Oh, we're dying out here.
Oh, no, I need
I'm
Morgan,
very familiar with
need
the
Morgan
name.
back.
Oh God, Morgan would be all over this.
All right, here we go.
Sorry, Morgan.
Come on, guys. What you got?
He's a walking IMDb.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
John Slattery. Right. What have I seen in
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, he's
yeah.
in-
Come on, guys. Grey
He's
hair.
in,
He'll be drinking scotch. He'll be smoking inside.
Wet Hot American Summer, the reboot. He's like their
Yeah, he is too.
he's like the theater director guy.
Yeah, that's right. He's
Yeah.
great.
Referencing reboots inside of reboots.
Yeah.
I know, right?
It's gonna be very Inception.
So because it's going to be quite dark, pretty serious for Marcus Dixon, for Sloane's partner. Sloane, not Sloane, Sid. It's killing me. Idris Elba.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he could do it. He could pull off the cornrows. I think.
Yeah.
like to see
That's
that.
what I want to see. Idris Elba, cornrows, Hawaiian shirt.
He has to start the film with a shaved head and then progress to cornrows.
Yeah,
like
we'll
that's
get
his
there.
character
We'll get
development.
there. And then for Sloane, Bob Balaban. He was in Seinfeld. He was in Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yep. Bob Balaban. Can I tell you something very
looks
funny?
So much like Ron Rifkin.
Yeah. It's the glasses.
Do you guys want me to blow your mind right now?
Oh, no.
He is in Alias.
Oh, no way.
He
really?
plays a guy who thinks that he's Arvin Sloane. I shit you not. He's nicked.
I'm very happy.
I think amongst fans, he's generally known as the Sloane clone.
That is a spin-off I want to see. The Sloane clone, Alias 2.
Yeah, and like, because I think I'd seen him in, I think he's in like season 3 of Buffy. Oh, no, sorry, season 5 or season 6 of Buffy.
Okay.
He's
He's one of those guys that pops up a
crazy
lot.
person. Yeah, kind of just turns up as generally like on the bad side of things. But yeah, anyway.
Okay,
Crazy.
well, I'm happy with that.
That means you were pretty much on
one
point.
coin.
That's who J.J. Abrams picked as a replacement Ron Rifkin. So you're on point.
Yeah, done. That's my fault.
You're basically J.J. Abrams.
Pretty much halfway there.
No Marshall?
No, didn't have a Marshall. He wouldn't survive in this world. It's too soft.
No,
he would have got killed in the first 3
He would have been
minutes.
killed in the first job.
Yeah.
Maybe you could just
that
pick
could be
someone
the
to get
mystery.
killed straight away.
Yeah.
Someone thrown under the bus. All right, Jez.
Yes.
What have you got for us?
So I was thinking, I'm going a TV show, but I'm going Alias, the animated series.
Ooh.
And
Oh, God. How do you do this?
I feel like it would just lend itself so well to...
Yeah. Yep.
So it's animated, you've got to have the kids in mind. So you're like your Kim Possible and things like that.
Yep.
So we're going like fairly young,
Mixed with...
10-year-old. Is that our
We're
demographic?
going like young adult.
Okay, all right.
Mid to late teen is my target demographic. I wasn't quite sure who to recast because, sometimes you might just carry it over.
Yeah.
But others...
So what style are you thinking? Like sort of anime or...
No, like a cross between Kim Possible and Archer.
Oh, right, okay.
wow.
So they'd like run around chasing artifacts. This is like after the events of the TV show.
Oh, right. Okay. So we're picking up where they left off. That's pretty dark for a kid's television show to open on a man who's immortal trapped under a rock, slowly going insane.
Yeah, but
He's a young adult. They can handle it.
I get the feeling like what will happen is his legs will be really mangled. He'd probably crawl out of there, and then he'd have some sort of like he'd become a cyborg.
Oh, here we go.
Just
like an Archer.
Yeah,
Barry.
Be very, very evil, and he's the main villain.
But what's his like? If he's achieved immortality, what's he getting at? What's his?
What was he getting at anyway?
I mean, yeah.
Come on,
It's difficult.
Just
So he's still trying to destroy the world?
yeah, exactly. Like the world's still intact. So what do you mean? What's he getting at? He's out for revenge. Someone's ruined his
Can't have
legs.
that.
Now he's a cyborg. Couple of ways you could run this because we could go. He's immortal. Obviously, he's going to be around for a long time. Sydney has 3 kids now. So we could either continue on with our current characters, or we could go the next generation.
Got the next generation.
Fighting Mum's battle.
Like Degrassi.
Yes. So, because if it was the regular show, a spin-off of the regular show or continuation. I don't know if Jennifer Garner would be up for just doing some voice acting.
Get her in. Yeah.
Which is why, like, I don't know if I could carry much of the cast over. I feel like Kevin Weissman, he would definitely be down for it.
He would be in.
I don't know that he went
Marshall.
on to do much. Would be hard to get Bradley Cooper to come back. Also, he might be dead. If Jennifer Garner wasn't available, we'd get a cheap knockoff.
Yeah.
Someone who can put on a good Jennifer Garner impersonation.
Cheap knockoff of Jennifer Garner. Okay.
She's still there.
I thought
I don't
Jennifer
know.
Garner was a cheap knockoff of Jennifer Garner.
She basically is. If you guys have got some suggestions, throw them at me. But I don't know how well's her career going at the moment. She's probably got time to do some voice acting. Michael Vaughan is played by H. John Benjamin, who is currently dominating the voice acting world.
He is.
Now, I'm not sure who to cast him as either Jack or Arvin Sloane. Is Mark Hamill, who since the original Star Wars, he just did voice acting for days.
Well, I think we've got the perfect Marcus Dixon. We alluded to it earlier. He's not doing anything coming up probably next year. Barack Obama.
Oh, yeah.
Same voice.
Yeah. His calendar's free. Get
See,
me.
that's the beauty of the animated form is we don't need to, as long as they sound like
Exactly.
the same characters. If these guys have got other shit going on, we can just get whoever, some guy off the street who does a great Obama impersonation, get him in.
No. You got to get the real deal.
Yeah, we're getting Obama.
100%. Barack Obama's been waiting. That's like the main reason why he's going out of office. It's not because he's run out of terms. It's just because he's really wants to play Marcus Dixon in the
Alias.
animated reboot of Alias.
Alias, the animated series. And I think for Jack, I will go Alec Baldwin. I think he's
It's a strong
Great
fatherly
voice.
figure.
liquid caramel, just in the ear holes.
Yeah. If nothing else, this show would be great to listen to.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be like a radio play.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that would be amazing. Do we have titles for our 2 films in the animated series? I think Alias, the animated series.
Yeah, writes itself.
You could maybe give it like an Alias,
See-
like Alias returns or...
That's Alias the animated series if we just continue on with the same cast. Otherwise, do you guys remember in the 90s, James Bond Jr.?
No.
It was like an animated spin-off of James Bond. But it was like this American kid who was James Bond Jr.
Yeah.
I could do that for Alias if I decide to pick one of her daughters. Because, as you know, at the end of the last episode, one of her daughters does the puzzle that she did.
Yeah.
So she's obviously,
got the potential.
aptitude.
Yeah.
So we could either go Alias Jr. or Alias the animated series. Anyway, Scott, you've got a name?
Titles. I don't.
No.
I don't at this point. It's like I'm trying to think of other awkward high school comedy names.
They're kids, right? In yours.
Yeah. They're sort of 15,
and they're
16.
sort of like spies?
Yeah. Well, as much as kids can be spies.
Spy Kids.
Spy Kids.
Ooh.
Spy Kids.
That's your title.
Oh, right. Spy Kids 3. Oh,
Yeah.
already exists.
Spy Kids 3.
Damn it.
Just new characters, new setting,
Okay. I was going to go pretty boring with mine, Sydney Bristow PI, but
I like that.
I was leaning towards what we mentioned earlier, the Ramboldi Code.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, you won't run into any intellectual property issues
Absolutely
with that
not.
one.
Absolutely not.
Maybe change code for something.
The Ramboldi Labyrinth.
Ramboldi problem.
Ramboldi
Puzzle.
Situation. Yeah. Ramboldi puzzle.
Yeah. So it's a direct rip-off, but far enough away that they can't sue because
Yeah, maybe
you
I'll
changed
get
enough.
Tom Hanks in to play Vaughn.
Why not get Tom Hanks in drag to play Sydney?
Just all Tom Hanks.
Yeah, why not?
I'd watch that.
The clumps, but with Tom Hanks.
Christmas with Ramboldi.
Yep.
All right, so I think that pretty much wraps us up for this week. Ties up Alias into a maybe not so neat little package because there's definitely a lot going on.
Neat little amulet.
Hopefully you've got the gist at least. Maybe you'll be inspired to go and watch the show. Maybe not.
Yeah, how would you guys rate it? Watch, Jez? Not watch?
Well, now that I've had the start and end, well, not the start, you can't ruin the first episode really. There's no spoilers in that. But now I've had the end ruined for me, probably not. But to listeners, maybe, check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
Well,
a
if we're
fan of
just ranking-
J.J. Abrams,
It's above Jag. We'll give it that.
definitely above Jag. We can give it
Jag
an
plus
above Jag. Yep.
They didn't quite tie it up in the same way that Jag tied up the show with a CGI coin flip.
No.
So, I don't, like whether
Thought
that's
it
a
was
good or a
like
bad thing. I don't know. I'm not here to judge. Well, no, I'm pretty much purely here to judge.
It's a bad thing. We can say that it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
The CGI coin flip should be the end of every show.
So yeah, that's it. That's Alias for episode 2. Any general thoughts on maybe what we might approach next week, or should we leave it as a surprise? Maybe.
I think we should leave the
Yeah.
listeners hanging a bit.
We'll be branching out to some other genres though. So.
If you have suggestions, hit us up on our Facebook page. The Incomplete Series. You can find us on Instagram as well. The Incomplete Series.
I think they're all just the Incomplete Series. If you just type in whatever the social media is, put a slash in there.
Find us.
The Incomplete Series.
We're on pretty much all platforms.
Do we have a Pinterest?
I think we've got a MySpace.
I don't think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
We've got a
yeah,
Bebo
yeah.
account.
Yeah,
Mine
we've
the
got Bebo.
top 8 friends on MySpace.
No, you're not.
Damn it.
You're not in there either, Scott.
I'm
sorry.
Well, that sucks. Well, thank you as always, Jez, for coming along, and thank you, Arran, for stepping in, filling in the big shoes of Morgan. I assume he will probably be back. Maybe he's found his father in Vietnam.
Hopefully. Maybe he's found the amulet. Who knows?
Come back with some very exciting news for us. You certainly did an excellent job. I do have just like one complaint though, just about general just communication, just trying to get in touch with you.
You never call, baby, when you say you will.
And it's really annoying.
It's frustrating.
sorry,
It is
I'll try
frustrating.
harder, I
Be
promise.
more accessible, please.
Great. Thanks for listening to the podcast, guys, and we'll catch you guys next time.